All right, it's 6 o'clock. We're going to call this meeting to order. Let's stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. We'll go ahead and take roll call at this time. Councilman Loy?
Here.
Councilman DeYoung?
Present.
Councilman Koch?
Here.
Councilwoman Pedersen?
Present.
Councilwoman Kesty?
Present.
Councilman Henderson?
Here.
All right. So we have an agenda item that's been asked to be added in. Legal counsel has requested to add in an executive session to tonight's agenda to discuss pending litigation. So I'll request to have an executive session added in to the approval of the agenda. Also with that will be another executive session under real estate, RCW 42.30.110 IC, and that's to discuss real estate. So those should last about 15 minutes in total. Thank you.
I'll make that motion with the added items.
Councilwoman Kesty made a motion to approve the agenda. Councilwoman Henderson seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? I make consent agenda is next on the list.
I would like to make that, I'll approve it, but I'd like to pull number 2, please. There was a mistake, so I'd need to amend the meeting minutes.
So we have a motion to approve the agenda, pulling item 2.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Would you like to discuss item 2 at this time, Councilman Kesty?
Yes, please. So under page 18, under the appointment for Carl DeYoung, it says that the motion failed 4-2, but it actually passed. So just need to make that fix.
Would be
And
noted, would
also
we be
the
able to?
second part of it was wrong, too.
That's correct.
Yeah.
The second part is wrong, too. Just try to straighten.
Yeah. Let me pull it up really. Oh, thank you.
So it appears 18, there's just been a transcription, we'll get that fixed. Sweet, awesome. All right, and then we can probably approve after we get that adjustment before we go forward, or
We'll add it to the next regular council meeting.
right on?
Thank you for identifying that issue.
All right, so we are going to go right on into the council member and mayor's report, or city administrator's report. Do we have anything from the city?
No report this evening. Thank you.
All right, we'll go into the council members' report. Councilman Loy?
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Councilman DeYoung?
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you, Public Works, for rocking and leveling of the alleyway between Fidalgo and Sterling between 11th and Township. It's been needed for a long time, and people were really happy about that. So thanks for doing that.
Councilman Koch?
Yeah, I enjoyed a pleasant Easter with my family at Riverfront Park. I was really impressed by the work staff has done there since the flood, so kudos to staff on that. We also donated food to Helping Hands Food Bank on their recent food drive, and I understand the need for the food bank continues very strongly, so I encourage people to consider a donation. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Pedersen?
Since our last meeting, I had the opportunity to meet with our Central Skagit Library District Director to learn a little bit about the history of the library district here and also review their finances in a little bit more depth. And I'm really impressed after hearing the story and reviewing the finances. I'm really impressed with the level of service that the library district is able to provide in our community, especially considering that they've never in their history put forward a levy lid lift. Is really kind of impressive what they've been able to do with the funds available. I also met with staff at the YMCA Rec Center over by Memorial Park. And I heard a lot about the great work that they're doing with our youth here in town. Services to youth was one of the things that was brought up pretty consistently when I was running my campaign, I heard from a lot of constituents that they'd wanted to see more services, particularly for youth and seniors. And I'm really happy to see the good work that the YMCA is doing here in Sedro-Woolley.
Great, thank you very much. Councilwoman Kesty?
Nothing, thank you.
Councilman Henderson?
Thank you, Mayor. On March 28th, I had the opportunity to attend the Vietnam Veterans Parade right here in downtown. It was a great thing. I highly encourage everybody to show up next year and attend it. And afterwards, all the veterans were able to come to the museum and see the new U.S. military exhibit that's in there. And I understand we have some folks here tonight whose uniforms are in there on display, and they'd love to tell you about it. So that'd be a great thing for everybody to see and participate in next year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So for the mayor's report, I must say it's been eventful stepping into this seat for a little bit. Great opportunity to pull behind the curtains and just peek on what's happening. And so I am impressed. And you guys are doing a great job. Thank you very much for your support and all that. We did have an event this weekend, on Easter weekend, no less, and it was down on 4th Street where we had somebody that put some stuff in the sewage where they shouldn't have. They technically, I think, could have, but they suited up in a hazmat waste suit, which was all yellow, put on a respirator, and so, of course, the community responded appropriately, took appropriate photographs, and then reported that in, and there had to be a shelter-in-place order put in for a couple blocks around that area. Great job on resolving that. Charlie, Woody, our first responders, Chief Dan, Chief Frank, thank you very much for doing all you guys did and then bringing that to resolution. Of course, Easter weekend, and we're clearly at war, so it's hard to know what's going on. So it was a great opportunity to come to resolve and see the city work. We had an SBA event today, small business administration come in. Deputy Administrator Bill Briggs stepped in and was able to talk to the community. He wanted to stress the timeline that is with these loan applications, and April 27th being a cutoff for the personal home loan. So that was great to have him here, do an event here, and then we put that also onto the website and then social media as well. So something to take part in. And then, yeah, it's just been a really good opportunity to peek under the hood, and I appreciate that. Thank you very much, guys. All right, so we're going to go into public comment. If anybody has a public comment, raise your hand. We have someone in the back. For Director Kelly to come in, and if she's got a list, then we'll be able to follow that list. So we do have one for Joe Kunzler. So before we start this, I just want you guys to know, it's no offense, but the council kind of has to sit in the background and just observe the information, absorb the information. It can be difficult, especially if you get passionate about something, to stare at a brick wall. I know from being on the council side how frustrating that is on our side. So just to let you know, that's not intended. It's to take the information and take that back and put it to action as soon as we can. So feel free to state your name and business, and you'll have 3 minutes.
Good, this is on. Interim Mayor Wavaka, council members, Joe Kunzler here. Class of 2000, graduated Sedro-Woolley High School. Good to see Councilmember DeYoung back on the council. I want to thank former Mayor Julia Johnson for her service, but I think it's time for this community to have a new direction. I hope this council will select Councilmember Cresty to be our next mayor. Nothing against you, sir, but Councilmember Cresty and I went to high school together, and I've seen her character in difficult moments growing up, dealing with school bullies, dealing with the challenges of life, and I've seen her take the bull by the horns in preserving our region's history, and I think we need that kind of leadership right now. I don't want to say anything negative about you because while I may sit at home and watch you, or I may come in once in a blue moon, I don't have to deal with the pressures of being in front of the community free Wednesdays a month. And I hope whoever is mayor will be treated with that grace and understanding and respect. I also hope, being that I am a regular Skagit Transit rider and I came here via the Skagit Transit 301, that whomever is mayor and automatically on the Skagit Transit board will commit to riding Skagit Transit at least once in the next 90 days. Even if it's just an around-the-block ride, at least understand what we riders go through. The transit operators did a great job today hauling me around, but we had some traffic to deal with. We have a lot of bus stops that aren't of the highest quality. I happen to be fortunate and use the senior center stop, which at least, has a pull-out and all. But just want to bring that to your attention. I'm here for the vote. And again, I hope that Councilmember Christie will be our next mayor. Thank you for your public service.
Thank you very much, Joe. Do we have anybody else in the audience? Yeah. Is there anybody else? No. All right, what about online? Woody, do you have anybody online that would like to speak?
If any of the remote guests would like to participate in public comment, please raise your hand and I will unmute your mic. I am seeing nobody raise their hands.
All right, so I will close public comment at this time, 6:11, and move forward with the rest of the agenda. So we're going to start with the first item on the agenda, proposed operation division reorganization. This is a first read. Bill, Director Bullock, do you want to take this away?
Thank you, Mayor, and good evening, Council. So this is something that since I've been with the department, we've been contemplating some measure of reorganization with Nathan and his group. This is currently right now, and you have the current org chart with you as part of the packet. Really shortly after 2009, the department, we had a retirement, and rather than hire another supervisor to handle streets and roads, they were all brought under the existing remaining supervisor. And then Nathan Salsina, he took over that position in 2013, and it's kind of been that way ever since. But with that, span of control has kind of been an issue, especially as the city's grown. I think Nathan's told me, and I'll have him come up here and talk to you a little bit about it. We mow roughly twice the acreage now that we did in 2013. And so the concept is to kind of make that span of control more efficient. And we're going to separate it into two groups, and they'll still be the same ops department, because they still, with seasonal needs, will still share personnel between the two groups, but one group will be streets and stormwater, and the other group will be facilities and parks, and then also cemetery attached to that as well. And then, and with part of that, part of what the goal is to really give Nathan, I guess, more time to, deal with some of the parks coordination, and some of that's been missing a little bit. And with that, kind of meet some of the council goals a little more efficiently than we're able to do right now with our current organization. And then basically be able to divide and conquer things a little bit differently. With that, I know Nathan's in the audience somewhere. You can raise your hand. Yeah, hiding in back. But I want to give Nathan an opportunity, too, to kind of explain from kind of his perspective what the advantages will be. And this is something we're hoping to do if we can this month. Part of it is the new supervisor that will take over the streets and stormwater group. We'll have about a month overlap with Dave Davidson, who is our, 44 years with the city? Lots of legacy knowledge, but with that month of overlap, will benefit that new position greatly. And then the other piece of it is that person and Nathan will still be partners, and Nathan will be able to mentor him through quite a few things as we go. I'll give it to you, Nathan.
Yeah, I mean, Bill pretty much covered it. I don't really have much to add. Those of you that know me real well know that I've been trying to find a way to split the division back out into two separate entities for 13 years now. When I first took on the role, it was kind of explained to me that it would be a temporary kind of a situation because we were in difficult financial times. Well, that was 13 years ago, so anytime there's a major retirement like David's leaving, it just seemed like a good time to relook at this again and see if it's the best model for the city. And that's where we're at, so. Any questions?
Any questions, Council? Councilman Cock?
Just after reading the material and listening to y'all, this sounds like a smart reorganization to me. Thank you.
Councilwoman Pedersen?
I agree, this is a smart reorganization. I was wondering, though, in the org chart, current org chart, it looks like David Davidson isn't actually supervising anyone. Can you clarify that? I think maybe there's just some lines missing on the chart.
So currently, David oversees the streets and the stormwater team, which consists of everybody in the column to the left. It's kind of hard to see when it's.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, there probably is a line missing. David supervises everybody, the 5 folks beneath him.
Yeah.
And that's the street stormwater stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. And so the idea is to, excuse me, promote someone from within the street stormwater staff into that. Okay, cool.
That's what we expect.
Got it. Thanks.
Councilman Henderson?
Thank you. I actually called and spoke to great length with Nathan about this, and the modeling of this is pretty well industry standard, especially since whoever manages streets and stormwater is an enterprise fund, and there's a lot of other intricacies that fall within that Nate has to deal with that, quite frankly, he could be dealing with a lot of other improvements within the parks and facilities. So I'm definitely in favor of moving forward in this kind of reorganization.
This is a first read, but there is a recommended action to motion to adopt if we want to move forward to the next session, or
I'll leave it at council's pleasure. Certainly, having a motion made today or tonight would help us with our timeline, but at the same time, this is kind of a big change, so I wanted to respect the first, second read. If council's pleasure, we can come back on the 22nd and talk about it a little more, but I'll just leave that to council.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
got a motion made by Councilman Pedersen and the motion made and seconded by Councilman Cock. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, Bill, I think this one's is you as well. It's for the resolution 1181, TAC 26, TAC 2026 sidewalk trip hazard removal project and sole source.
Yes, sir. So we'll be doing our sidewalk rehabilitation efforts this summer. And Precision Concrete, or wait a minute, hold on. I think that's right? I'll just call them Precision. They have this proprietary capability, which is basically a horizontal concrete saw. And so with the, when you have sidewalk panels that have tipped, when they've 2 inches or more steepness, something that's less than 2 inches, we can just do the standard grinding machine, and it actually works pretty well. But when you have more than 2 inches to go through, it really takes a long time. So if you just imagine that they have, like I said, a horizontal saw, so they're doing a saw cut to take away all that thickness rather than just continuously grinding. And it has some very distinct advantages. You can see the map that's accompanied with the council packet. They're going to do 1 or 2 dozen areas within town. And then what we do is after they're done with their work, then we clean up the polish with the grinding, with the sidewalk grinder. So makes it very efficient, and it will let us take care of quite a few trip hazards that have come up in the last year or two. It just kind of depends on the season and frost thaw. Sometimes you get a lot of them, sometimes you don't get many of them. But they're sole source because they're the only company that does this particular method.
Does the council have any questions? Councilman Henderson.
Reading through this is, we did budget for this again for this year. This did happen last year, and we were very pleased with the results, and I can point out several places around town that it's happened in. We're not the only city that does this. This is becoming a very common practice. I'm in favor of it, and I know that you're asking for action tonight, so I would make that motion.
Second.
So we have a motion that's been made by Councilman Henderson and a second by Councilman DeYoung. Councilman DeYoung, you had your light on?
Yeah, I was going to make the motion
Awesome.
because, just to reemphasize, it's a sole source. We usually go very competitive, but because of the proprietary nature and the good working relationship and schedule and budget, I'm in favor of this.
Councilwoman Pedersen? Your
Oh,
light's
I
on?
was just ready to vote in
Right on.
favor
All right,
of
any
this.
discussion? No? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Looks like it's been approved. All right, so, Director Bullock, yep, you're up again. This one's the data sharing agreement for Swinomish Indian Tribal Community. Do you
Yes,
want to
sir.
take that?
Just a quick note with Precision Concrete. I've been using them in 3 different cities since 2009. They're very good at what they do. So this is a data sharing agreement. The Swinomish Indian Tribe is doing some modeling on the Skagit River. And they've offered to share that data with us. One of the needs for this particular sharing agreement that we want to do is, so SE Squared is the consulting company doing the work. They're the ones that have been doing the latest modeling to predict what the 100-year floodplain is going to be in 2080. And so part of what we want to utilize this particular body of work is to make sure we're making the proper judgments for elevations in the new treatment plant upgrade. And part of that is that we want the new elements to certainly be above the future 100-year floodplain. So that's really the bulk of exactly what this is going to be. Now, in the future, I think sometime this summer, they're going to be doing some more work with SE Squared, the Swinomish Tribe. So we'll either do an amendment to this agreement or something to do that. And with that, we need to, the goal is going to be to model Brickyard Creek for its flood capability, because that's never been done. And we've only been doing very specific increment models, like for putting culverts on and things like that. This will give us, that study will give us a comprehensive prediction of Brickyard Creek, so we can understand how to do better development review. Also, as we do improvements, we'll be able to use that data to enforce what our efforts are along Brickyard Creek, so.
Councilman Carr?
I probably missed it. Is there any cost to the city on this agreement?
No, there is not.
Okay, thank you.
Councilman Henderson?
Thank you. I have a few questions, so I'll just start with my first one, and then if anybody has any others, I'll yield, and then I'd like to come back, because I have about 4 or 5 questions, if that's all right, Mayor. Okay. So my first agreement, or my first question is, does this agreement limit our ability to use this information for other planning efforts outside of the wastewater treatment facilities plan?
I believe there's part of this agreement where they're limiting the data on the Skagit River, which is what this is for this agreement, to our efforts with the wastewater treatment plant, because that's specifically what we asked them for to use that data for. And beyond that, I really don't know, but
I see no other lights on. Oh, Councilwoman Pedersen?
My understanding from the agreement, or the, staff summary, is that this data is going to be released later this year to the general public, and we're just kind of getting an early access exclusively for the use of, because we need the data now for our sewer treatment plant work. Is that correct?
I believe so.
Okay.
Councilman Henderson?
Does this agreement limit our ability to use other data or models to inform planning decisions for the wastewater treatment facilities plan?
No. And I'll maybe couch that with, we can always do our own study or join with the county and other joint studies for that. This doesn't limit our ability to generate more data to say, what are the effects going to be on a riverfront park or something like that. This doesn't lock us into this. This just lets us use their particular model effort to do some studies we need to do with the wastewater treatment plant to save us some money on that facility plan. And that's just because we were very specific on what we wanted to use the data for.
Oh, Councilman Cook?
Yes, so just to follow up on a couple of the questions, once it becomes public this summer or whenever, then we could use it for other planning tools like flooding in other parts of the city, right?
I believe so, but that schedule is controlled by the Swinomish because it's their study.
All right, okay, thanks.
Councilman Henderson?
Does this agreement comply with public records as the modeling data used by the city should be publicly available?
The information that we'll use it for will be subject to that. As far as, I'm unsure how limited the tribes is by the Public Records Act, because I just know how it affects cities. But as far as what we use it for and how the city uses the data we're going to use for the treatment plant, that will be subject to the Public Records Act. I don't know whether or not the Swinomish are affected the same way we are.
Want to continue?
Yes, please.
Yep.
Just one final follow-up. So when this does become open sourced, so we can use it for our hazard mitigation and flood mitigation plans, are we still falling under the guidelines of this agreement?
I don't believe so, but that would be a better question for Dan, our city attorney. Is he?
Thank you, Bill.
Yeah.
Once the data becomes public, it's fair game. So not subject to the restrictions in the agreement.
Any other questions, council? All right, there was recommended action of motion to authorize the mayor or designee to sign the data sharing agreement.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? We got a motion made by Councilwoman Pedersen and seconded by Councilman Cock.
Discussion, please.
Discussion, yes. Councilman Henderson?
Thank you. So do we know when it's going to become available? Like, do we have a timeline? Have they released a timeline?
No, I don't.
Councilwoman Kesty?
I'd be in favor of holding off on this and thinking a little bit more about it, personally.
Well, we have a motion made. Do you have another comment?
Yeah.
Go.
Uh,
Councilwoman Pedersen?
So I think the reason the city has developed this agreement to this point is that we need the data to do the best, I mean, it's the best available data for planning purposes for our sewer treatment plan. Is that right?
Correct. So this is something that the city engineer, Peter Lane, came upon, and we knew we were going to have to do some amount of modeling just to ensure we were informing the design of the sewer treatment plant. He saw an opportunity, and we were just that specific on saying, hey, could we utilize your data to make some judgments on what to and fold those into the design of our sewage treatment plant. So that's really why we were just specifically focused on the sewage treatment plant. We could have maybe made it broader, but at that time, we were just taking advantage of a single opportunity to save some money in our design and being able to partner.
How will not having that access to this data now impact our sewer treatment plans?
It would impact it marginally. We would have to spend some additional money on our own to do that modeling, but it's not a deal killer either way. It's just a convenient opportunity at this time.
Councilman DeYoung?
Yeah, just to expand on that a little bit, what's the urgency of getting the data? How long can you wait for the data before you would think that you would have to come back for council for a fiscal impact of doing our own study?
Well, we will be, we're about ready to finish up the facility plan, which is part of the kind of the feasibility study on the options we're going to choose to go right into design. We expect to be going into fully getting into the design phase here in June. So that's where that is.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, I'd like to move to table this agreement until next council meeting.
We do have a motion on the table that's been seconded. I have one quick question, Director Bullock. Is this a first read or second read? I'm not seeing that on here. I don't recall it.
It could be a first read. It's,
Okay.
we didn't think it was that formal at this point, but no harm, no foul on that. I mean, if we want to take another council meeting to consider some additional things and come back to council with some homework, we certainly can do that.
So if we vote to not go forward with this, it becomes a nay vote. Can we vote to table it, or are we voting to cancel that agreement out completely? Kelly, Charlie?
You could make another vote to bring it back to a future council
Awesome.
meeting.
All right, well, we have a vote on the, or a motion on the table?
Can I just withdraw my motion and then? we can
No,
vote?
since it's been
Oh.
seconded, we'd have to follow through with the vote. So all in favor of approving the data sharing agreement with Swinomish Indian Tribal Community? Say aye.
Aye.
All against?
Aye.
Opposed?
So we have 2 for aye and 4 for opposed, so we are not going to do that.
Mayor LaVaca,
Yes, sir.
can I make a motion to table, or to bring this back? Which council meeting would you prefer, Director Bullock?
It could be either on the April 22nd or one of the council meetings in May. Either one won't set us back at all.
Okay, should we just say a later date?
The-
It's up to you.
To a later date.
So I got a motion to bring this back at a later date.
Second?
I have a second. So Councilman Henderson motioned to bring this back at a later date. Councilwoman Custee seconded that motion. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Like, we'll bring this back at a later date. Thank you very much, Director Bullock.
Thank you. I'm not.
Next item on the agenda is item 5, and that's going to be procedure for filling the mayor vacancy.
Nope.
No, oh, yeah. We got the item 4, contract for supplement number 6, Reichart and Ebb Engineering, Township Street, SR 9. Bullock?
Okay, so thank you. So this is kind of the final amendment to the Township Roundabout project. We basically have to finish some as-builds. They're putting in the truncated domes today, so there's some inspection involved with that. This is just wrapping up the final costs for that contract. And after that, we will we'll be declaring the project physically complete and be bringing it for council acceptance probably in May.
Council, any discussion? It appears that you have a recommendation of a motion to authorize the mayor or designee to approve the professional services.
I'll
This
make
is
that
a first read, I believe, too. So. Oh, Councilman Henderson?
I'll motion to approve.
I'll second.
So we have a motion to approve by Councilman Henderson, a second from Councilwoman Pedersen. Councilman Henderson, Councilwoman Pedersen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, that was a big one, Director Bullock. I think you're done now, right?
Yes, sir, I am.
All right, we're going to move into the procedures for filling the mayor vacancy. Kelly, do you want to take it away?
Yes. As you all know, Mayor Johnson announced her resignation effective April 3rd. So the City Council Governance Handbook outlines procedures for council to select the new mayor. We've included an excerpt of the Council Governance Handbook in the packet. The individual appointed will serve through the end of the mayor's current term, which is December 31st, 2027. If council doesn't fill the position within 90 days, the city's authority ceases and the Skagit County Board of Commissioners would appoint a qualified person to fill the vacancy. Prior to this council meeting, council had noted that they would like to review procedures before continuing to fill the vacancy, so that's what this portion is for. In a nutshell, going forward from now, the council would make nominations. Nominations require just the nomination and a second. and then all nominations would be made, and then we would proceed into the voting process. And I know the city's attorney, Dan Curtis, is also online, so just wanted to see if he had anything to add before we pass it on over to the council.
Thank you, Kelly. Good evening, Mayor and Council. I do have one comment that I'd like to bring to Council's attention. The Council Governance Handbook on page 23 at paragraph A2, which is on page 96 of your packet, states that the council shall adjourn to executive session to review and discuss all of the council members interested in serving as mayor. I have a bit of an issue with exposure to liability here with the executive session as prescribed in the handbook. The RCW 4230-110 executive sessions, subsection H says to evaluate the qualifications of a candidate for appointment to elective office. However, any interview of such candidate and final action appointing a candidate to elective office shall be in a meeting open to the public. And it's that interview portion that I worry about in this case. And it effectively limits the utility of the session to a simple announcement by each person interested in filling the position. And council members wouldn't be able to do much more than that without risking violating the RCW. And my concern here is that following up an announcement with a discussion per the handbook may constitute an informal interview. Therefore, I just recommend that the council consider the utility of making announcements in executive session and whether that's worth risking violating the RCW or whether we should consider suspending that portion of the handbook and simply doing that part in the open session.
Thank you, Mr. Curtis. Just so the council is aware, I had a discussion with Charlie Bush and Dan earlier this week concerning this. My recommendation was to eliminate the executive session from this process, just so that everything is out in the open and for the public to see. And I believe they agreed, and so Dan was able to relay that. So I'll leave that for the council to chew on.
Mayor Luaka.
Councilman Henderson.
I'd motion to forgo the executive session.
Second.
I got a motion to forego the executive session by Councilman Henderson, seconded by Councilman DeYoung. Any discussion?
I have a question
Yes.
for Dan. I totally was under the impression that our legal team reviewed documents like this prior to approval. Is that, I don't know if that's typical of the city. I suppose I had assumed that our legal counsel reviewed this type of thing and then also contracts like the one we were just discussing. Is that, could I hear a little bit about our system for that?
Yes, Dan reviewed the contract with the Swinomish tribe for the cooperative agreement as well. We send all those to our legal team for.
Yes, council also reviews the governance handbook, although it's been in place for quite a while. And so some sections of it are dated, and we don't always look at those until we have a need, and then we encounter occasionally situations like this. So we've been talking about a complete overhaul of the governance manual to deal with that issue.
And I'll just add, in review of the contract with the Swinomish, legal counsel's job is to sort of review those things for not only compliance, but risk management purposes. And I determined that to be a low risk endeavor. And I'll just reiterate what Charlie said in that we have had talks and are considering the possibility of revising the council handbook.
And we can cover that more when we bring that specific topic up before the council again. So, Councilman DeYoung?
Yeah, since I have now further information that we are in compliance with the law and that we've removed the ambiguity per our city attorney's advice, I move to open nominations for mayor.
We have a motion made by Councilman Henderson, a second by Councilman DeYoung. So I think we wanted to vote to remove the executive session.
Pardon me, I got ahead of myself.
No problem. All those in favor of removing the executive session from this process?
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, looks like we removed the executive session. All right, and now we're going to go into the next procedure of that. Kelly, do you want to take it away from mayoral appointment? Thank you.
I don't really have anything to add other than we be following the council governance handbook as presented with the exception of the items removed, which would go into discussion and nomination process.
I would just like to say that I made it clear to the council and to everybody else, but I am removing myself from that if anybody else is wanting to do that from that nomination process, so that way it doesn't get confusing. So, thank you. I think that we can move into, you've made a motion for a nomination.
Yeah, I'll repeat that. Thank you for the timing. I apologize for putting the cart before the horse. I move we open nominations for the City of Sedro-Woolley mayor.
I'll second.
I got a motion to open up nominations for Sedro-Woolley mayor, and I got a from Councilman DeYoung and a second from Councilman Henderson. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion approved. Councilman Henderson?
I move to nominate Councilwoman Joellen Kesty for mayor.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
I got a motion for nominating Councilwoman Kesty for mayor of Sedro-Woolley, a second from Councilman Henderson, a second from Councilman Deloy, or Loy. Just Loy. All right. Councilwoman Pedersen?
And I'd like to nominate Councilman Cock.
Okay. So I got a motion to nominate Councilman Cock. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Councilman Cock seconded the motion to nominate Councilman Cock. All those, so we'll go through the voting process of each one individually. We'll start off with Councilwoman Kesty since she was the first one. All those in favor of nominating Councilwoman Kesty to be the mayor of Sedro-Woolley? In favor of, say aye.
Aye.
And all those opposed?
Aye.
So for the record, we got 5-2, or 4-2. We'll go forward with the next nomination, which is Councilman Cock. All those in favor of having Councilman Cock as the mayor?
Aye.
Aye.
And all those opposed?
Aye.
Opposed?
All right, it looks like we got Councilwoman Kesty as our next mayor of Sedro-Woolley. So at this point, I think we can go forward with the swearing-in ceremony. Is that correct? All right, and I would like to be able to do that for you in this. Let me find, we were prepared, just so everybody knows. I'm digging through the pile here. All right, I got the right one. Some sound in it. All right. So, Councilwoman Kesty, will you raise your right hand and repeat after me? All right. So, I, Joellen Kesty,
I, Joellen Kesty,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
or affirm
or affirm
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution and laws of the United States
the Constitution and laws of the United States
and the Constitution and laws, and all local ordinances,
and all local ordinances,
and that I will faithfully and impartially perform
that I will faithfully and impartially perform
and discharge the duties of the office of council member.
and discharge the duties of, what was this?
Should be mayor, right?
Mayor.
So we're going to change that over to mayor, and you'll get that fixed when we say it. All right. For the city of Sedro-Woolley,
For the city of Sedro-Woolley,
Skagit County,
Skagit County,
Washington.
Washington,
according to the law, to the best of my ability and understanding.
according to the law
And
and the best of my ability. What was the last part?
and understanding.
And understanding.
All right. Well, I now pronounce you to be the mayor of Sedro-Woolley. Good job. So our next mayor will take the seat at this time, and thank you again, Mayor Kesty.
Okay. I want to start by thanking my colleagues on council for this honor and my friends and family and supporters for being here tonight. Your support means more than you know, and I'm truly grateful for each of you being here as we begin this new chapter together. We were given a gift, an opportunity to make real change for our city, and I say our city because this city belongs to all of us. For far too long, many have felt they didn't have a voice or access to the same information. That changes today. Moving forward, we will be committed to transparency, open communication, and ensuring everyone has what they need to make the best decisions for Sedro-Woolley. We don't all have to agree, but we do need to treat each other with respect. Today is a fresh start where we choose to work together, listen, and lead with integrity. We have important work ahead, supporting our seniors and focusing on the basic needs of our infrastructure. Each one of us was chosen to represent the people of Sedro-Woolley, whether elected or appointed. Each of us brings ideas and perspectives that people believe in. Moving forward, this is no longer about a few council members having access or influence. It's about all of us working with the same information and the same opportunity to contribute. When we bring those ideas forward, when we listen to one another and we work together, that's a win for all of us, and I'm honored to move forward with all of you. All right. Moving forward from that, we're going to go into the executive.
And we'll start at 6:47 and go for 15 minutes.
Okay.
State the start time and end time.
So we are going to go into executive session. It's 6:47, and we will be out in 15 minutes.
Hey, Dan, can I have you get out of the meeting and get back in? For some reason, I can't add you to the breakout room.
Okay, yep.
Say that again, Woody. Were you talking to us or Dan Curtis?
I was talking to Dan Curtis.
did that work?
We are going into the second executive session from 7 to 7:10. So there was no action in our executive session. And I'll be looking for anything of the good of the order.
I wanted to bring up, FEMA has announced a funding opportunity for hazard mitigation, and I know not while I've been on council, but the previous council had developed a hazard mitigation plan, which I think was approved and might still be under review at FEMA. I'm not really sure of the current status of that. But this is a really unique year for this grant program, which is designed to help communities get the projects and their hazard mitigations plans done. The funding was in litigation, so we're actually seeing 2 years of funding that are announced now, and the grant deadline is in the summer. So I thought it would be a good idea for the council to take a look at that. It takes a lot of coordination with different jurisdictions. So I wanted to make a motion to bring some information to the council for discussion only at our next council meeting.
Okay, there's a motion. Do I have a second?
I have a question. Are you going to bring the information then? Or
Well,
is
I
Charlie?
could, or
Yeah.
our staff could. I think our staff knows about it as well.
I've been looking into the BRIC grant, and I will be likely bringing a motion to ask council to be able to make an application. My first thoughts aren't necessarily on the hazard mitigation plan, but really is a matter of potentially putting the flood wall that would complement the treatment plant. So they would probably, and I've got to look more into it. I really kind of want to talk to somebody of what they expect. Is it, do they, sometimes these grants will fund things in phases, so you have to do the design phase before you can ask for the construction phase, because we don't have anything that's shovel-ready, and of course it's very much focused on shovel-ready projects. But so I think the grant's due at the end of June, so I'll be bringing a motion or permission from council to apply for it. Also, I will have a better idea of what we're applying for at that time.
Would you feel okay with that?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we got a little bit of information just now, actually.
Okay. And any other? Councilmember DeYoung?
Thank you. First off, congratulations, Mayor.
Thank you.
And my go to the order is, I just wanted to thank staff over the past couple weeks, really, from the bottom of my heart, but about being really open, listening to my questions, taking the questions. Also got to know your humor more, which I really appreciated. And I just like the, if you will, the chemistry that each department is exemplifying. And I just wanted to say thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Tom. And please convey my thank yous to Ashton and Nicole, because I really felt that you really went above and beyond to make me feel comfortable and to really respect the point of view that we have when we talk to the community. And I'm looking forward to working with you guys and the team. And just a big thank you.
Oh, okay.
I just
Councilmember Cock.
want to say congratulations to Mayor Kesty, and I look forward to working with her.
Thank you. Thank you all very much. Oh, yes,
Just
Bill?
one more quick point is right now we have a portion of the equipment mobilized for installing that railroad bridge right now. The crane's coming in at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning, and by Sunday we should have a new overpass bridge.
Nice. And I just want to thank Mayor Pro Tem LaVaca for doing such a wonderful job and getting us all ready for tonight. So thank you so much. And I look forward to working with each and every one of you, and I'm very excited about the future. All right, and with that, I'd be entertaining a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
So moved. Good night, everyone.